I appreciate you being here. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. And know that if you become a member of my channel, you get to get like the inside scoops and things ahead of time before lots of my content I make way ahead of time. So anyway, you get kind of the inside scoop for that. So today I'm going to do two things for more of my holiday launch chronicles. If you haven't been paying attention, if you're not a member, you won't know ahead of time, but as soon as it is available, I am going to go ahead and release. But I have been working on these 3D trees, and they kind of go down. I have to make sure they can still go together. I'm hoping they do. They're kind of tight, so that's going to be a thing, but they're going to go together. But they go together, they stand on their own, and I've already done 3 coats on each side of the vanilla paste. And I'm going to start out with doing a wax coat because I want to make sure to seal this. And then we're going to do some patterns on it. And I'm going to start off with a pattern that is a big top secret until next week. So thanks for joining, like I said, and make sure, give me a thumbs up, do all the things. And I'm sorry. Again with the, there we go. Just want to give you a view what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Oofta. Boy, everybody's calling me. Thought I'd have some time. So we're going to do some wax on these trees. And I appreciate you hanging out with me. Now, for each tree, these trees come in a set of 2, and so I did 3. I like things in 3. So for my display for the holiday launch, I went ahead and made 3 trees. So I needed 2 2-packs for it. And as you may know, if you've been watching, I'm starting to have some emergencies for chalking. I mean, there's no real craft in emergency, right? We can figure it out. But I'm starting to have some emergencies. One of them is that I'm almost out of my vanilla paste. So I did 3 coats on each side of, so 6 sides of trees. And now we're doing a clear surface wax. I think I did both sides. Yep, I can feel it. The clear surface wax just kind of seals it up so that it doesn't peel off. And I let these dry overnight because I did not want to have any peeling problems once we got it done, because like I said, I'm running out of vanilla paste. I'm also out of black velvet, which are like the 2 staple items, white and black. Crazy. And I love vanilla because it's sort of a warmer white color than the bright white. I mean, I can use bright white, but we're going to use, this is a brand new transfer. It's called Santa Claus, and it's got, showed you before I pulled this off, but it says Santa Claus, and then it's got the music and the extra music up here, and then it's even got extra words here. So we're going to see what we can use. I'm using this as a pattern, as a background on these trees. And we are going to use we're going to say ash is the new black. It's kind of a darker gray. It's more of a bluish gray, actually. And so since this is my first time using this, I am going to fuzz this a few times so that we get that kind of extra stickiness gone. As soon as you wash it, the stickiness comes all back. So the first couple of times you use a transfer, you do want to, I don't know what's on there, something's on there. You do want to fuzz it. So use a clean cloth and get the fuzzies on there. All right, we're gonna go ahead. And I like the music. I guess I didn't play this music. Usually I kind of test market all the music. I am going to, I'm just going to let some of the words go on here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but see how the bottom part see, it doesn't go all the way across. So instead of trying to get it to go all the way across the music part of it, I'm just going to let the words be part of the decoration. That's the great thing. I love doing like kind of Victorian type. I guess I should start, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should start at the top. I don't really care about the Santa Claus. I don't know. I don't really care about the Santa Claus part of it. Our family does not celebrate Santa Claus, so it doesn't matter to me. So here's the ash, and these are reusable transfers. We can use them over and over and over again. I'm trying to get you in here. I'm just going to use my squeegee on the beveled edge and pick up the paste. And this is specially formulated to be used in our transfers. And I'm going to work fast and just paste and then peel to reveal and then move on to the next area, because I'm going to try to use these more than one time. In fact, I'm going to try to use this several times on here. We may have to stop and kind of wash. I'm in my little Airstream camper creating and making stuff here. It's kind of my crafty place. And so anyway, let's see how this turns out. Ooh, I love upon the house, no, because clatter, I don't know. Just different. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be sort of a random type of pattern on here. I think I'm actually going to try doing another side of this on the bottom. I'm doing the major parts, so let's maybe try for words on this one with a little bit of music. I don't know. We're just trying it out. Get all the bubbles out when you put it down, and like I said, we're gonna be reusing portions of it and doing our best to just keep going until we can no longer go, till it doesn't look so good. And it's okay. I'm just doing sort of random pattern on this. That's what I love about the pattern. I love our vintage patterns that we have, because they are so random. You can just kind of place them however you want and try to get whatever pictures you want out of it. We're going to get some of these greens here and put those on. And I'm actually going to do the 3 different trees with 3 different patterns, but this is the one top secret one from the new launch that I'm excited about. And because I'm a musician, I love all the music ones. So this, I'm going to try this. Looking good. Looking excellent. Okay. That kind of gave, hopefully, this other part. Love the decorations on that. Let me show you that. So we just got the bottom part. I'm going to do something at the top to just carry it over. And let's see how this one is going. I'm going to stick this back on here. I want to make sure this is dry before I can't even tell. I've got so many places. I've got I've got the paste on me. So we're just gonna see if we can get you down here a little bit more. There you go. Maybe that's a better angle. I don't know. Get some off my fingers here so I don't start making fingerprints everywhere, because we don't want that either. We don't want it to smear. But isn't that cute? I think it's going to be super cute. Anything with music on it. So I've got some other ideas for the music as well, so stay tuned for that. And I've also got one more craft I'm going to do once I get these trees done. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe I will use that. I don't know. I kind of want to line up my music here with this. I want to line it up so that whatever goes above it makes sense. So I'm just gonna, because music is spaced out. This is my part. Music is spaced out a certain way, and so it bothers me if it's not, because I am a musician. So I often check the music to make sure it's real. I've given Chalk Couture a little bit of a hard time, one of the designers, because they didn't do they didn't do the trumpet outline anatomically correct, and it drove me nuts. It's like, just look it up. You can see how it's supposed to be. Okay, I think I got that all done. Once you start getting several layers on, it does get a little more difficult to tell if you've gone a certain place. I guess that's how that is. Right there, wanted to make sure. There we go. Look at that. Nice. So that kind of just made it carry over all the way through. I'm going to do it sideways so you can see it really close. Just kind of carries it over. We'll set that aside, let it dry. Remember, we've got the back side too, because it's 3D. We want to see it all. So, and I may have to wash this off for the next round. So now what I'm going to do is, again, get this lined up. Let's see. We've got 2, 2. So this is a onesie here. And I don't want to do this 6 again. Rover, come here. Are you all alone? Haven't they tossed you an extra bone? Here's one to gladden your honest jaws. Now wagga thanky to Santa Claus. That is hilarious. Okay, so I think I want to, there's only 3. So, and then this is the verse. So maybe I need to go, I don't know what makes this most sense here. I want it to look uniform. So I have that top portion. I want it to line up, but I don't want another one of those leaves. That makes sense. So 2. Let's pick this one. I'm going to line this one up right here, but I'm only going to go up here. I guess we're going to get 6 again. So didn't really want to repeat the number. Oh, how far does this go? All the way up there. Okay. We got it. Usually the lining up is probably the most difficult part about crafting. Oh, there's a slit there, so. All right, I want to go here, but not the bottom. And here. Starting to get difficult to line things up because you can't see through it, and this is so dark. But I love this color. I really love it. Maybe I can, I don't know what that says. Chick. Snow White Stocking. Oh my gosh, I don't know where this song came from at all. I don't know. I don't claim it. It's got some funny words. Funny ways of writing it. Okay, so that kind of lined up that center, like it's off kilter. I think most people, and I think you're not going to notice that all the numbers are repeated. Let me show you that in a hot second here. All right, here it is. Isn't it cute? Like I said, I don't necessarily think it needs to say Santa Claus. Now, I think I'm going to clean this because I'm afraid it's going to stop printing nicely. So I kind of have a way of doing this in the camper here because and it's not necessarily the only way, the right way, but I like to lay out some wipes, and then I usually only do this with small ones, and then I take another wipe and I just wipe down what we've got here. so that I can get back to our transfer. And the reason I put in another wipe, you could just leave it on the backing and do this, but then your backing gets all, see how that prints anyway on there? So that's why I'm gonna do it this way. It's better to, I think, I like the cleanliness of it. If you could take it to a sink and just wash it in regular water, it just goes much quicker. It's much less waste, and easier too. And then just use a board eraser for the friction part of it to get it off. So we're just gonna, this is basically the same idea in the sink. I just put it down in the bottom of the sink and wash it this way. Sorry for all the wiggliness. We're in our little camper here. Get this other area. And I'm not trying to get it perfect this time because I'm going to come back at same color. We're not worried about that. And do the other side. And then we're going to see all of that came through. So these are silk transfers, so that gives you the ability to have all of the different details. The other nice thing about doing it this way is that it's not so wet as it would be if you took this to your sink. So that's the other benefit of doing it this way. You could also do it like maybe on a towel. And because this is water-based, it'll eventually come off, but a lot of sometimes the pigments do sort of stain too, so you got to kind of watch that. But if you had like an old clean towel that you wanted to use as this backing too, that would work as well. So I'm just trying to get these extra little flecks, but it's still very sticky, and this will give us an opportunity to kind of see through it. So I guess there's some bigger chunks of paste on here. I really love this because it sort of looks like it's black, but it's not as stark as black. Kind of like the vanilla, right? And I painted all three of these trees in the same vanilla because I wanted a softer color. Oh my goodness, I'm covered. This is the other part of doing it this way, is that it's very messy. All right, I think I'm going to just turn it around and do the other side the same exact way. Essentially, I'm going to start at the bottom with the music on this one and do the same thing all the way up. And see, I'm already got smudges here. Look at this. Let's take that off. It's water-based, thankfully, so we can just take it off. So I've got it. I'm trying to get it off this. I don't want it smudged everywhere. All right, so let's start at the bottom, work my way up, but let it dry in between. And I'm basically going to line it up. I'm just lining up the music. Press it down, get all the bubbles out. Line up the music on a straight line across the bottom so it looks straight. Nothing worse than getting crooked music, right? And just going right up to the edges. Guess I don't need to go so much down the middle. I kind of went right down the cut line on the wood. So these are our 3D Christmas trees. And like I said, they come in a 2-pack. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. This is the bigger one. And then you can paint them if you want to. They're brown. I actually kind of like the brown. If it were, if I wasn't trying to accentuate it on my mantle, because my mantle is all wood, so I felt like I had to kind of color paint it. All right, hopefully that. Ooh. And the nice thing about the sticky back is you can just go ahead and put it back down and get it to come through if it didn't work out for you the first time. This is how I'm getting printed on my, all right, that turned out really nice. And I'm going to get this off here because I'm going all around the tree and kind of getting my surface as well. So, all right, and we're going to set that aside and let that dry a little bit before we go to the next step. And then this one is the other side. We just sort of lined up the words. Getting this all over the place though. I just don't want to turn it over and put it on and it's gonna come off. It looks so perfect, right? All right, this side, we're going to do the other word side with that. Oh, I think I had that greens kind of, I thought I had the greens on there. Nice thing is they are centered nicely. You don't have to do any sort of like trimming or anything like that. No picking, whatever they call that with the vinyl. I don't know. You get to make it. It's not just a one-time use. It's over and over and over. So I just stuck my fingers through that pretty good. And we're going to go back to our side over here. The cool thing is, you know, I'm sort of going for the rustic look. If you're looking for perfection, you might want to wash and dry or transfer in between each use. But because I kind of like the rustic, you know, just kind of laid out, and it's okay with me if it's a little rubbed off or something. That totally works for my style. So I'm kind of going for a farmhouse, rustic style, and I've been sticking to the color scheme. Ooh, even my squeegee is pretty covered now. I'm sticking to black and white, off-white, white, and then of course this color. Ooh, that one kind of smeared up a little bit, but that's going to be okay. I'll probably, if I don't like those smears, if they bother me, I'll either put it at the back when I display it, or what I'll do is I will go ahead and take a sandpaper to it so that I'll just sand it down so it's not quite so bold. I'll show you that in just a minute here. Let me get everything off my fingers and off my space here so we don't get it all over the place. We don't want smudges. All right. So this side didn't print out as nicely as the other side, and that's because we are reusing. And like I said, this little smudge right there, if it's something that I think kind of stands out, I'll go back with a piece of sanding paper and kind of clear it off. All right, so let's get this side here. And I think what I did last time was I just lined up another line. And it doesn't, for my taste, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm good if it's a little different, a little more rustic. It's all good. There are no mistakes. That's the fun part about doing rustic, I think. Everything, if something doesn't work out perfectly, I just call it rustic. That's what we want to call it. Okay. Just to this one. Trying to keep track of where I start and end here. Here we go. It's getting pretty thick on there. All right. I might need a new squeegee. I'm getting kind of covered in paste here. I don't know, is there nothing there? There we go. Love it. I guess that one, I don't know how that one, I don't know if I did that one right. That's all right. I'm the only one who notices when it's not quite right, so to speak. Because I'm the musician here. All right, let me show you that one. So that one is all music. think it looks nice. I'm excited. Excited to get these put together. All right, setting this one aside, trying not to get it all over the place. So I did end up like painting all the sides vanilla. I had to go back and do that and then kind of go back and, even out the fronts and the backs as well. I tried you could use a Sharpie to make it black on the edges. I kind of liked that look, but I was struggling getting it to work for me. I was ending up like going out of lines with my Sharpie because I couldn't feel my fingers. And of course I'm under a time crunch for this. So that was kind of annoying. So anyway, and the other thing you could do is go back, with this color and this ash color and do that as well. So I'm going to take another squeegee, start out fresh here because I'm definitely struggling not having it all over the place. Okay, so we only need just this top portion. What I like about even the smudges kind of make it look like it's, some old music. And this one we just did. Oh, you know what I could do is do the leaves, just do the words right there. And then you don't even know that I repeated the same ones, right? Supposedly. Someone's mowing. It looks like it's going to storm out there. I don't know. It's very smoky, so it's really hard to tell what the weather is going to be. Like normally we can tell, but I can tell you that I think we're supposed to be tomorrow getting in some rain, and I can tell you that I was feeling very, very much in pain last night. So, so much going on. I finished up my cleaning job, so that's good. That's what I did today. I washed the floor. I did all the dishes because I'm home alone. My husband's out driving for rafters today, and he goes and rides a van out and picks up the cars, and a group of them go out and pick up the cars from rafters, a lot of times up in Montana, and then they drive their cars to their end point of their rafting trip. And ooh, that kind of looks nice, actually. All right, so we are done with that one. That, like I said, this is a brand new launch product. Christmas music sheet is what it's called. And I will take that in the house and wash it. Oh, it sounds like it's raining out there. Not kidding. Kind of interesting. As I'm talking about rain. So anyway, he's out doing that. Bethany had a soccer game in Bonners Ferry, which is near Coeur d'Alene, if you're familiar with Idaho. And they were overnight, so I'm entirely by myself today. And so I went out and did the job. I did the dishes. I washed the kitchen floor and the dining room floor. I've been working on crafting. Oh my goodness, so much getting done. But, I'm actually getting kind of tired. But we've got one more project here. I'm kind of cleaning my surface here. I'm going to put this together so you get an idea. Hopefully we are dry enough to get it put together so you can get an idea of how this looks. And I'm going to be having 3 of these on my mantle. Like I said, I like things to be in odd numbers. It's just kind of probably an old decorator's trick. And these are, because I painted, that's not going straight. I don't want to force it, but I do want it to go together. Why? It's just thicker because I painted, 3 coats on each side. So each one is, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on here. Now I've got it stuck together, you guys. It's easy peasy, really. I hope, they didn't need to be like, there it is. They might not come apart again. Just saying. Here, I thought I was doing something good by, well, hopefully we don't have to adjust. Oh my goodness. I am so close, you guys. I'm so close. This is not making me excited. It's kind of interesting how this ends up with the pattern on it. Oh my goodness. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, it'll stand, but it's a little crooked. It's like this far apart. I'm going to have my husband. I might have to take it apart and do a little bit of sanding in, sandpaper in the slots, because I'm sure I dribbled over paint and that's what's causing the issue, that it can't go all the way down, but I don't want to break it. So, but isn't it cute? Oh my gosh. Love, love, love this. I think it's so cute. So cute. All right. And I'm going to go live. So if you see those are kind of bright. So I'm going to just grab my little handy dandy sanding block, and I'm going to try to just go in on just these little kind of goobery type places. The other thing that you could do with this is go around the edges. I like it to look like it's kind of rustic and old, and every time I do edges, it does look better. Not gonna lie. Ooh, this is tight. Might have to have assistance from my husband. I don't want to crack it though, so I might wait until after my little presentation. But isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Cute, cute. I've got more ideas with my little music sheet, so stay tuned for that. I will have more of that. I like to do things, I've got all the music ideas. I'm not gonna lie, because I kind of like how it turned out. There's like greens there. I don't know if there's a better side. I don't know. What do you think? All right, so that's one down. I have another one that's really super quick and easy. If you've hung out this long, I am so grateful that you are here. This is called Christmas Sled. Again, it's brand new to the launch. It is not out yet, and I'm doing this in my members only. So if you haven't joined my membership, that is what you get, is sometimes you get to see things before the fact. But this is going on a brand new frame that we have, and it's, I'm going to leave it in there, but it is double-sided. You can move those little tabs and change it around, but I'm going to leave it in here because I don't want to, those tabs never work for me unless they have the hinge on them. But this is such a cute little frame. It is a reusable surface. So we can use it time and time again. Oh, if you were wondering what the other size is like, here's the difference in sizes. So I'm going to do these live though, because I'm going to use some patterns that we can use. They're okay to use and that aren't top secret right now. So I will do those other two. So if you are wanting to watch that, go back and watch my trees, my 3D trees. I'll be hiding this one though. But we're going to, because this is a brand new transfer, we're going to go ahead and get this done here. And I'm going to throw this on here. Just put it in the center. This is an A size transfer. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. I would imagine that there's a couple different sizes of this frame. I really like that it's white. You could paint it, but you guys know how I feel about painting things like that. Well, I'm just going to use some bright white because it's bright white around the outside edge. I guess I better put my ash away before we get it all dried up on us. That over here. And get the ash off my finger now. It's sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? Get the ash off my fingers. All right, we're going to use some bright white, and I'm going to use a mini squeegee. And this is adorable. This is right up my alley as far as colors go. I love this. And you could use this Merry Christmas across the bottom several times. Like you could use it over and over and over again. Use it on tags. I think this would be beautiful on a tag. like on one of our new tags. We have a small tag size in our chalk spot, which is super affordable. I think this would be really beautiful on that. All right, got that closed up so we don't dry out our white. God knows I can't afford to not be out of any other stock colors. So I've got bright white left and ash. Those are my black and my white right now. So it's going to be what it is going to be. Sometimes you just got to make do. I remember being a foster parent, and we had kids. We had 5 extra kids for Christmas, plus my own 5 kids to buy gifts for. And I told the kids, I said, hey, none of us wanted this for Christmas. None of us wanted this. And so we just got to make do. Make do with what we have and try to be happy about it. So that's hard for kids, I know. It's hard for adults when you have an expectation for Christmas. So we hadn't planned on having them. We planned on having them for about 2 weeks, and we ended up having them for like 3 months through Thanksgiving and Christmas. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So beautiful. And this frame has a hanger on it, so you can hang it on the wall and then just change it out seasonally. So easy peasy. What, you know, who doesn't love a little chalkboard look on the wall? I love it. And it's got actually 2 of them, so you can do it either way, vertical or horizontal. But I love it. All right, you guys, you got to see some of the more chronicles of all the things going on in my house here. A little bit crazy. But I hope you had a great time, and check out all the other chronicles. I will be numbering them up, and they will be released later on. So I appreciate you all. I hope you have a very blessed day, and make sure you keep on crafting.